Welcome to the second video on easing into an Ashtanga at-home practice. We're going to begin in our ready position, forward on your yoga mat with your feet together. Lift the kneecaps, press the hips forward, roll your shoulders back. Pull the navel in and lift these muscles up so that you essentially elongate the vertebrae up through the top of the head. Close your eyes, go into yourself, and begin focusing on your breath. If possible, you're breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the nose. Fill your lungs completely, empty your lungs completely, and get yourself mentally prepared for your short Ashtanga practice today. We'll begin our warm-up, Surya Namaskara A, or Sun Salutation A, one breath, one movement. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, fold forward. You may be supporting your hands on your legs, or you may have the flexibility to place your hands all the way to the floor. It's okay to bend your knees. Inhale, look forward and elongate. Exhale, carefully walk yourself into plank and place your knees on the floor if you're a new beginner. Bend your elbows touch your body as you lower yourself all the way down to the ground. Tops of your feet are on the floor. On an inhalation, either lift the upper body up into cobra or all the way up into upward facing dog where you lift your knees off the mat. Exhale. Balls of the feet are on the floor, go into downward facing dog and remain here for 5 breaths. Your feet are hip distance apart. Your heels are reaching for the floor behind the second and third toe. You're elongating your spine and your neck so that the top of your head is reaching towards the space between your thumbs. Your navel is pulled in, hollow out the belly, and you're gazing towards the thighs or the belly. Next inhalation, look forward, then walk your feet back up to the hands. Again, your hands now may be on your legs. Exhale, fold forward from the hips, relax the neck. Firm belly to support the spine. Inhale, come all the way up, stretch up, look up. Touch your palms together if possible, but that's more difficult. If it's better for you to keep your hands apart, that's okay. Number 2. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Exhale, carefully walk yourself back into plank, and right away, put your knees on the floor if you need to. Bend your elbows, hug them into your body as you lower down all the way to the floor if necessary. Inhale, upward facing dog, firm buttocks. Exhale, downward facing dog. Remember, cobra is a good modification if you need to. Stay here. 1, 2, I'm counting breaths. 3, 4, 5. Inhale, look forward and gently walk your feet back towards the hands. Exhale, fold from the hips, relax the neck, your belly is firm. Inhale, come all the way up, stretch your fingertips up, try to touch the ceiling. Exhale, starting position or samasthiti. Again. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Again, a modification. Maybe you're right here. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Exhale, bend your knees. Hands are on your yoga mat. Come all the way into plank. Right away, new beginners, knees are on the floor. Straight line from the top of your head to your tailbone as you lower yourself all the way down. Inhale up into cobra. not using your hands. Or use your hands to lift all the way up into upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, and stay here. Feet are hip distance apart. Heels are reaching for the floor, even though you may never touch the floor with your heels, it does not matter. Inhale the sit bones up to the sky. Exhale, top of the head down towards the space between the thumbs, shoulder blades into each other in the spine, shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, look forward, gently walk your feet back, or if you'd like, lift your sit bones up and float your feet back into place. Exhale, fold forward, no jumping if you have back problems. Inhale, come all the way up, elongate. Exhale, samastitihi, start position. Last one today. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. One breath, one movement. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Exhale, work your feet back into plank all the way down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Remain here in downward facing dog for 5 breaths. Remember, you have a lot of space between all the fingers. Extra weight presses towards the fingertips so that you don't have too much weight on your wrists. You're pressing from the hands back over, sit bones up to the sky. We're actually working on getting more weight towards our feet than on our hands. We're filling our lungs, we're emptying our lungs. Inhale, look forward, walk your feet back or gently float your feet back into place. Exhale, nose to knees. Inhale, firm belly to support the spine, come all the way up. Exhale, samastitihi, start position. Now, chair pose. Bend your knees, fingers are on the floor. Now, this is the position you want to maintain your legs in as you come up with just the upper body. Straighten your arms up, tailbone forward, shoulders from ears, head way back, look up through the thumbs. Your arms are essentially beside your ears, and then let your head fall back. Inhale, elongate the upper body. Exhale, sit lower to the ground. Inhale, elongate. Exhale, sit lower to the ground. Inhale, come up. Exhale, fold forward. Hands are either on your legs or all the way down on the floor. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Exhale, bend your knees, place your hands on the floor if you're not already there. Walk your feet into plank or float gently your feet into plank all the way down, resting on the floor if need be. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Virabhadrasana A. Warrior 1. Inhale, right foot forward. Now notice I come up on my left toes, on the left ball of my foot, and my shoulders move forward onto my wrists, over my wrists, so that I can get my right foot between my hands or as close as possible. Hands together if possible. It's okay if they're apart, but it's more of a challenge to have them together. And notice that the knee that's bent is over the ankle. Try to get your thigh parallel to the floor. The leg behind you is straight and firm, and the entire sole of your foot is on the floor, not up on the ball of your foot, all the way down. Your hips and your shoulders are forward, and your head is falling back, and you're focusing on your breath. Your legs are firm, your buttocks is firm. Inhale, straighten the knee. Exhale, rotate the body, and repeat the exact same pose on the left side, Virabhadrasana A. So bend the knee, try to get your thigh parallel to the floor, firm the legs, firm the buttocks. We're here for 5 breaths. And after 5 breaths, open your arms, Now your shoulders and your hips are squared straight ahead or to the right of your body, and you're looking over your left fingertips. Thigh parallel to the floor. 4, 5, inhale, straighten the knee. Exhale, rotate, bend the knee. Try to get your thigh parallel to the floor. The upper body, don't let it move forward. Try to keep your body smack in the middle of your legs, but your gaze is over the right fingers. Arms are in line with each other. Don't let your shoulders go up to the neck. Fill your lungs and empty your lungs. Exhale. Work your way back into plank. Advanced yogis, try to kick up before you go into plank. Otherwise, just come all the way down on the floor. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward and come down to sitting. Janu Shirshasana is the seated pose we're going to do first today. Left leg is straight, right knee is bent, the right sole of the foot is against the left thigh. Hips are forward. Bandhas is in place. Elongate on an inhalation. Exhale, fold forward and support yourself with your hands on the floor. We're folding from the hips here. We're not arching the back, trying to touch our knee with our forehead. Instead, we're thinking someday we're going to touch our knee with our heart. You're looking at your big toe. And we're going to remain in this pose for 5 breaths. Try to keep your shoulders parallel to the floor. And if you have more flexibility, your hands can start reaching towards the foot. Eventually, clasp your wrist behind the heel and work on getting your elbows onto the floor, your heart on the knee. Eventually, your chin down to the leg, but you're looking up at your big toe. Every yoga pose has a point that we look towards called drishti. Drishti here, big toe. Inhale, head up only. Exhale there. Vinyasa. Inhale, cross your legs and pull them in towards your buttocks. Roll forward if possible and work on getting yourself into plank. Again, new beginners, knees are on the floor immediately. And as you bend your elbows are touching your body. Notice the straight line from the top of my head to my tailbone as I sink my upper body down to the floor. Inhale up into just cobra or all the way up into upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, look forward and come back to seated. Leg, leg, sit down. And we're going to repeat Janu Shirshasana A on the left side. So straight right leg, the sole of the left foot comes into the thigh. This is a really good hip opener. Inhale, pull the Uddiyana Bandha, your navel, in and up to support the spine. Exhale, fold forward from the hips and be content with wherever you are today. So don't worry about you can't collapse all the way down like a sandwich. It doesn't matter. It's a journey. Enjoy the ride. Every inhalation, think elongate. Every exhalation, float a little bit more. Maybe this movement is not visible to the eye, but you can feel it subtly in your body as you're working with your breath, and that's what yoga is all about. Also, remember, we're never, ever forcing in yoga. We're releasing your drishti, your visual point, focus point is your big toe. Remember your Uddiyana Bandha, the lock, the navel lock is pulled in and up. That's in place to support your spine. And next inhalation, look up. Exhale there. Inhale. Pick yourself up so your feet come close to the buttocks and roll forward to think now. More advanced students are going to start thinking, I want to lift my tailbone up to the sky to be able to float my feet back. If you're nowhere near there yet, just walk gently Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward, come back to sitting. Madhyasana A, the first of the twisting sequence. Bend the right foot and the heel comes right in front of the right sit bone, giving yourself a little bit of space between the foot and the thigh. Pull your Uddiyana Bandha in and lean forward and try to get your shoulder in front of the knee. Notice the shoulder is touching the knee. If you can't do that automatically, maybe you need to pack a little baggage to get it out of the way, and maybe you need to use your left hand to grab a hold of the leg and pull it in. And hold that knee to the shoulder as you wrap around with the other arm and hold it in place. Then start working on grabbing your hands behind your back. So if you don't have a chance of grabbing your hands behind the back, you can use a strap or just hang on to your t-shirt. Another tip is, instead of just taking the left hand around, if you instead think open the shoulder back in this respect, it's easier to grab a better bind and then adjust your shoulders so that they're squared straight ahead. On an exhale, fold forward as much as possible. And your drishti again is your big toe. Fill your lungs and empty your lungs. Focus is on the breath. And pay attention in the areas of your body that's experiencing stretch or subtle discomfort. And try to relax that area so that you're better able to find peace in the pose. Next inhalation, head up only. Exhale there. Inhale, cross your feet again and pull your feet into the buttocks. Roll forward, your hands are large, lots of space between the fingers, and begin to think, I want my sit bones up to the sky. And when you lift your sit bones up to the sky, your feet will just automatically follow after. If you're not there yet, don't worry about it. Just get into plank however you can physically get yourself into plank. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward and come back to sitting. Those that want to learn how to float, the first step is, again, start thinking sit bones to the sky and land with your feet crossed before you come to seated without using your hands. That's how you start beginning to develop the strength and the balance to pull this off. Madhyasana A, left side. Bend the left knee, pack your baggage, move your baggage. Everybody's got baggage, we just have to learn how to pack it. Left knee to left shoulder. Use your right hand to pull that knee into the shoulder to get your arm around. If you have space between your shoulder and your knee, it's much more difficult to get that arm around the leg. So pull them together to make that happen. And then again, instead of just pulling this hand back, think open the shoulder up so that you can get more of a grip. Then rotate the shoulders forward. The left knee pulls back as you then fold forward and look at your big toe. And you're breathing. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, head up only. Exhale there. Inhale, feet into the body. Roll forward, big hands. Roll forward and begin to think sit bones up. Exhale, all the way down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Hips now, hips down to the floor. Roll your shoulder blades back. Look way back, tight buttocks. Exhale. Inhale, look forward, come back to seating. New beginners, however you can get your buttocks on the floor. More advanced students, look forward, sit bones up, land with your feet crossed. Next step, when you've got that mastered, is land on the tops of your feet. And begin working on getting your feet through your legs. Come to lying down. Bend your knees. Heels as close to your hips as possible. Feet are parallel with each other. And on an inhalation, lift the buttocks up. Grab the ankles if possible. If you don't have that flexibility, lace your fingers under the buttocks. Straighten the elbows. Use your hands to help climb higher up onto your shoulders. Lift your chin up. The back of your head is resting on the floor, but lift your chin up so that you can breathe easier. If you've got more to give, start working on getting your hands beside your shoulders, fingertips pointing towards your feet, elbows in towards each other, and the next step would be work on getting the top of your head on the floor. If that's easy enough, start trying to straighten out your elbows, and then try to straighten out your legs so that your upper body moves forward. On an exhalation, come all the way down. Pull your knees to your chest if that feels good. And rock up to sitting, straight legs. Your Uddiyana Bandha is in place. Fold forward from the hips. Your hands are either on the floor supporting you, or grab your feet, or lace your fingers around your feet, or grab your wrist. Try to get your wrist on the floor behind the heels. Once you achieve that, elbows on the floor, heart on the knees. You're elongating the spine. The more space you can find in the vertebrae, the more flexibility you'll be able to achieve. And your eyes are still looking at your toes. Drishti, toes. Fill your lungs and empty your lungs. Next inhalation, head up. Exhale there. Inhale, come up. Lay down, take your rest. Have a nice day, everyone. Namaste.